All right, so today we're beginning a new section, and our new section today is called Modern China. Go ahead and write down Modern China and then underline. So for Modern China, we're going to talk about what's going on today. So now what's going on like the 1990s or 1980s, we're going to talk about, 2000s, 2010s, what's going on today. And before we get into that, you can see right here in the picture that we have, you'll see in the background here, there's an arena. That arena there is called the Birdcage, and that was constructed for the Beijing Olympics. All right, so the Birdcage was constructed for Beijing Olympics. You can also see the Chinese flag. The Chinese flag has a red background. Red is for the color revolution. The big yellow star is for the government, and the little stars there are for the people. Now, air pollution is a pretty big problem in China. So air pollution is a major problem in China. And you can see right here on the graphic on the side here, this graphic shows the pollution per cubic meter in China. Basically, if you have a number over 10, that means it's hazardous to your health. And you can see in China here, their top 10 cities for air pollution are way over the number 10. And you can see over here in the United States, our top 10 cities for pollution are not way over 10. I mean, Bakersfield is almost double, but they're not as bad as in China, as you can see. So we can also see pictures here of air pollution in China. So these are some pictures here, and they kind of show you how the air looks like in China. So you can see how there's quite a lot of air pollution, and it's quite difficult to see because of, well, all the air pollution. So the United States, our worst cities for air pollution are Bakersfield and Merced, which are both in California, while the worst cities for air pollution in China are Xintai and Shijiazhuang. You can see how those are kind of the two worst there in China. So basically, the worst city in China is about 8 times worse in pollution than in Bakersfield. All right, so it's quite a bit more air pollution than even the worst city in the United States. Let's talk about energy production in China. Go ahead and make a bullet and write down energy production. So bullet, energy production. So for energy production in China, you can see down here in the graphic how in 2020 is right here, you can see how the energy is distributed. And it's distributed among coal, natural gas, nuclear, hydroelectric, wind, solar, and then other. And you see over time, they want to get more and more things going besides just coal. Now, in the year 2015, you can see how coal was 72% of the energy production in China. Well, in 2040, they want it to be down to 47%. Right now, in the year 2020, they're actually at about 59% of their total energy production is from coal. Go ahead and make a 1. So if you didn't make a bullet, bullet was energy production. And then 1 is going to be coal is 59% of China's total energy consumption. So coal is 59% of China's total energy consumption. And you can see in the graphic here, the things that they want to really kind of expand in. Now, hydro looks like it's staying pretty much the same, throughout time. Looks like they want to increase natural gas a little bit. Nuclear, they want to get way more into. So you can see how it's barely anything, and they want to get into way more into nuclear. You can see how wind, they want to expand out wind. Solar, they kind of expand, not doing a whole bunch in solar, but kind of getting into solar as well. So you can kind of see how just the energy production, how they want to get things going over time. Now, something that also contributes to air pollution is automobiles. So let's talk about their automobiles that they have in China. They have 4 major automobile companies in China. The first one here that we're looking at is SAIC Motor. And their car right here is the Rowe ERX X5. The next car company here on the right, that's Dongfeng. And their car there is the AX7. Next one is the FAW Bestune B70 right there. And then the last of the 4 major car companies in China is Chang'an, and this is the Ado. So there are 4 big car companies, as I said. You got SAIC Motor, Dongfeng, FAW, and Chang'an. Those are their 4 major car companies in China. Gotta make a bullet and write down 3 Gorges Dam. So make a bullet and write down 3 Gorges Dam. Three Gorges Dam is right here in the picture. So this is Three Gorges Dam. Three Gorges Dam is 1.5 miles long from end to end. So this entire structure is 1.5 miles long. And it took 20,000 workers to complete this. So 20,000 workers to make this structure. It produces a ton of electricity in China. This dam generates 11% of all the energy in China. So go ahead and make a 1, and we're going to write down generates 11% of all the energy in China. So China has a population of 1.2 billion people, 1.3 billion people. And if 11% of the population is getting their energy just from this dam, that means you have about 110, 120 million people who are just getting their electricity from this dam, basically 1/3 of the population of the United States. So it generates quite a bit of electricity. Now, the problem, of course, with building this dam is that this dam was built on a river. Okay, so this used to be a river right here. However, to make a dam, you have to block up the water and get the water level to be higher on this side than on this side, which means to block up all that water and such and to get the flood up, well, you have to flood the surrounding area. And because they surrounded the surrounding area, this forced 1.3 million people had to move from the area. So when they built this reservoir, this man-made lake back here, from putting up the dam, that caused 1.3 million people to have to move from their homes. And the dam they created back here, it did create a 405 square mile reservoir. So reservoir, man-made lake, same thing. Go ahead and make a 2 and write down Three Gorges Dam create a 405 square mile reservoir. You can also see in the picture over here the canal locks that allow boats to go from the high side to the low side. All right, so because this side is higher than this side in terms of water, boats can use the canal locks over here to go down or to go up. And we kind of talked about dams before, but if you don't quite remember how a dam works, how the dam works is since this side right here is higher than this side over here. Let me go to the back of this picture. So because this side up here is higher than this side down here, what you do, you have like a gate that's on this side. You open up the gate, water goes through the gate, and then it falls down the structure. And as it falls down the structure, that water weight, so just the weight of water, falls onto these turbines, basically these big blades. It falls onto those big blades flat, spins those turbines. When those turbines spin, produces electricity. So that's how a hydroelectric plant works. To also help out with the pollution in China, they do have quite a lot of bullet trains. Bullet trains can travel at speeds of over 200 miles per hour. So these bullet trains travel over 200 miles per hour. We don't really have bullet trains in the United States. They were trying to build one between Los Angeles and San Francisco, but then the entire project, well, not the entire project, half the project got scrapped, and then they were only making it now between like Bakersfield and Mercer, if I remember correctly. So bullet trains, very fast. They have 15,500 miles of track in China. A lot of the major cities are connected by bullet trains. But in the United States, it's never really taken off. Japan also has a lot of bullet trains as well. Agriculture production. So when you think of China, most of the time when you're thinking of China, you think of rice production. Okay, so that's the major thing you kind of think of as rice. But you can see here from my graphic that rice production, yeah, sure, China, it's been like their top crop at some points in time. So you can see kind of from, looks like 1995-ish to about 2005-ish. Rice was the main thing that they're producing. But nowadays, the main thing they're producing is corn. So corn is actually the main thing right now. You can see how that kind of took over in like 2000, at a little bit after 2005 there. So corn is actually the major crop they produce in China. That's actually the biggest thing. Then it's rice, then it's wheat, and then just vegetables, and then soybeans and fruits are kind of at the same level. So agriculture-wise, they do produce quite a bit in terms of just corn and so forth. So United States, we make a lot of corn too, but corn is also pretty big in China, and then rice is then the second big crop that they have. All right, let's go ahead and stop there for today.